Welcome to Bears in Exile. Today is Thursday, September the 20th, and this is the market overview. Looking at the Dow, SPX, VIX, TNA, UUP, FXE, GLD, SLV, and all the rest, just like every night. Or at least, like most nights. Alright. So, starting off with the Dow, the Bears came in, they tried to do some damage, pretty convincing start. And they were just beat back the whole day. Dow up almost 19 points. And really changing some of the, well, I guess you could make a pro and a con argument for both sides. But, yeah, you know, today, Hanging Man didn't make a new recent high. I mean, that sounds bad. Made a new recent low. Also sounds bad. But we have no downtick. It sure looked like for the majority of the day we were going to have a downtick, and nope, the Bears couldn't be counted on to provide, and there is no downtick, which means we just have lots of buying pressure coming in to buy the dip. The dippers are in effect, and so can you really trust the Bears at this moment? Doesn't seem like it. Yesterday was looking pretty darn toppy, and today unable to follow through at all. Working off the topping area in the heat map through time, going sideways. And beyond that, we still have the MACD histogram going down, MACD still going up. The RSI is still going up, the 14-day RSI moving average is still going up. The slow stochastic is going sideways, and the fast is barely inching down, along with a barely down move on the CCI. Although it looks poised for turning over, it just isn't. And the Bears' time is would appear to be growing short. Their window of opportunity could easily slip away. We've backed off some on a few things. They can go right back up, and it's kind of what it looks like at the moment, but I guess you never know till it actually happens. 60-minute time frame. You can see that we've been shopping around here for the last week after Ben's announcement of QE3. Nothing really damaging. It looks like consolidation. Beyond that, talking about taking out the topping area in the heat map through time, 14-day RSI moving average. It's moved all the way to the bottom, and the price hasn't gone anywhere. And now it's poised to go back up. Does that mean that we break out to a new high? It is possible. Beyond that, you have the histogram moving on up. You have the stochastics moving up, CCI moving up, RSI going sideways. 60-minute looks pretty darn good. If they get a breakout, the bulls get a breakout, then watch out, Bears. It's going to be bear season again, and not in a good way. SPX, more of the same. It really looked like we were going to get a downtick today. I didn't believe it, and that was actually right. We had no downtick today. They saved it. And look at that bottom tail. All of that just bought. Boom, boom, boom. Give me some SPX. That is pretty darn strong, if you ask me. And the daily still looks like maybe it could turn around, sort of like just like the Dow, but time is running out. Time is running out, and today's showing of buying the dip shows that there's probably less time than the Bears would like to believe. So it's too bad for the Bears. Really, really is. Going on to the VIX. This is interesting also. Of course, the VIX has been beat to a pulp. We know that the current low should be retested. Talked about it coming close a couple times. Just hasn't done it yet. And today, gapping up and falling the entire day. Losing its uptick. Losing the lower price consensus level once again. And look at this. 14-day RSI moving average, down tick today. First one. And stochastics moving lower, RSI moving lower, MACD going down, MACD histogram slightly up. And slightly up on the CCI, we are building a bottoming area here, which would tell me that going in for a retest of the previous low, entirely probable. And it can break it, and then it'll have to be retested again, broken again, etc., around and around, until something happens that we get an uptick and have follow through. So even though we have excessive separation, even though we have some wobble here, we have no uptick once again. So it is what it is. TNA, small caps. We were talking the other night about, maybe it was last night, we had the downtick here. The downtick would take it down here to just above 63. It made a valiant attempt today to reach that. It fell shy slightly, but nonetheless, it did make its attempt. Downticks, upticks, they do work. Beyond that, yeah, I mean, this looks like certainly the daily is shaky. 14-day RSI moving average, first downtick. Down on the CCI, down on the stochastics, down on the MACD, no bearish cross yet, down on the MACD histogram, only up on the RSI. Certainly it looks weak, absolutely. Does that mean that beyond a bubble corrective move, if it wasn't finished today, is going to keep on going to the downside? Certainly it could, but we've already eased off. We can see that in the heat map. So this can turn around, go back up, and either test the new high, break the new high, etc., etc. We talked about the areas to look for in some of the past videos, most notably being up here in the 80 to 90 region, even though that seems pretty darn unlikely, or at least it feels like it should be unlikely, but nonetheless, possibilities. Spinning top today would have been much better for the bulls if it had completed its bubble corrective move, but man, it came close. So close. And 60-minute time frame, better take a look. See if it looks like we should be getting some follow through. And what do we see? Certainly it's weaker than the Dow and SPX. Certainly this could be another flag of some sort before heading lower once again. We did close above the halfway mark of the big green candle. So this has held. It's pierced, but it held. So first level of support, still intact. Weakened, but still intact. And what should be a major level of support here at the bottom of it, which coincides essentially with these tops here, has not even been tested yet. So are we poised for a breakdown at this moment? Probably not. Maybe it'll get tested tomorrow. Beyond that, we have positive divergence in the MACD histogram. We have positive divergence in the RSI, positive divergence in the stochastics. 14-day RSI moving average is low. It has not turned yet, but most other things are trying to. Stochastics, MACD histogram. The MACD looks like it's ready to turn up. The CCI and the RSI are lagging. But 60-minute time frame, yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Question will be, if it does turn, what happens right here? That is really important. And going on to UP, the dollar. Yep. Kind of mixed. We had the uptick a couple nights ago. Uptick gave us a target up here at 22. Got another uptick today. Gives a target of 21.90. Came awful close today, but just couldn't seal the deal. Beyond that, yeah, everything is ticking up. It does look positive in the daily for the dollar, which would be negative for the market. But also notice how stinking weak it was. Gapped up, fell all day. not a good indication of meeting the uptick. I mean, it should have been green, should have shown strength, and it didn't. So that is a little bit concerning that it's not going to work out. And 60-minute time frame, normally don't do this on the currencies, but since this is so darn important, I think it'd only be right. Had this gap a few days ago, it was filled. Made a new gap today, started to fill it. Could look at this and say, oh, this is just consolidation before it goes up. Maybe it is. But we have negative divergence, MACD histogram. We have the MACD high not turning yet. We have the 14-day RSI moving average turning over 60-minute time frame, stochastics going down, CCI going down, RSI going sideways. Definitely more negative than positive in the 60-minute time frame, which is good for the markets and not good for the bears. So, a little bit in conflict. Daily looks good, 60-minute does not. And the other thing being, we have this new recent low. It needs to be retested at some point. Does it get retested before it gets a real bounce, or does this floor break? Should be retested one way or another. So just something to ponder. And FXE, the euro, had its downtick a few days ago. Downtick gave us a target right about the 200-day moving average. Talked about that in last night's video, and it came pretty darn close. It's not there yet. We have two more days to fulfill. Certainly seems reasonable. And we're still kind of toppy in the heat map. The daily does look poised to go down, and that would be fine. If it breaks the 200 in strength, then the bulls better watch out. But until that happens, I'm not going to worry too much about it. And GLD, a sure bet because of QE3, or so many would believe. And they did try selling it down today, coming very close to the low from whatever day this was, the 17th. And not able to quite reach it, and certainly not break it. We didn't get a downtick today, we got a hammer. Not at the top or the bottom of a range, so it doesn't really matter. The point being that the dip was bought, even though they made a pretty good attempt at it. The daily does look kind of toppy here, but we are working out through time, topping in the heat map. So if these were to bounce back up, which they could, just kind of difficult at the moment. And CompQ, the NASDAQ. Now this is interesting. Unlike the Dow, unlike SPX, they weren't able to quite save it, and we did get a downtick today in the NASDAQ. It did fill, almost fill, this gap, which is good. That's healthy. So does that mean that it can continue on from here, or will the downtick rule? Just don't know yet. Certainly have not worked out as much in the heat map as the other major indexes. Most things are poised to go lower, so it is shaky. Just won't know till tomorrow. And the source of the NASDAQ's weakness, Apple. Apple didn't have a bad day, but it got a very, very slight downtick. And the dip was bought. There is a gap here that's pretty good size. It took a little bit of the chunk out of it. We can see the excessive separation here. There is a bubble, should get fixed. Downtick target is about 680-650, and that wouldn't be a bad move to the downside. Unable to maintain 700. We knew that that was a very important level, and a little bit of weakness, catch its breath. That's okay. That's natural, healthy. and everything seems to be wanting to roll over in the daily time frame. At least it's on the edge of doing so. Don't know if it's going to happen. Certainly the 14-day RSI moving average has been moving down and resetting, yet price has not agreed with it. So maybe even if we could get a little bit of weakness here, get a bubble corrective move, this could get close to the bottom and then turn around, and there you have it. But that's just a guess. And 60-minute, just for fun. You can see all this consolidation up here at 700. That would also lead me to believe that it's going to pop through it. You do have 14-day RSI moving average heading down, RSI, CCI heading down, stochastics up, histogram slanting up, and the MACD itself still pointing down. Kind of a wash, maybe a little more negative than positive, but certainly not all bad. And going on to GE, leads the Dow, and look at that, almost coming to its recent high. Very strong day. Everything was bought. No downtick. 14-day RSI moving average, all kinds of room to move to the upside. Stochastics up, CCI barely down, RSI up, MACD histogram barely down, MACD up. This doesn't look bad at all. Really doesn't. JP Morgan, most important bank. No downtick. They saved it. You know, what is there to say beyond that the dip was bought? Did make a new recent low after its giant move up. Normally that would be bearish, but in this instance I'm just not convinced. 14-day RSI moving average holding high, stochastics barely going down, CCI barely going down, RSI up, MACD sideways, MACD histogram down. I suppose it's just kind of a push-pull. It looks like consolidation to me. It can break out of the high, it can break this candle, go lower. Either one could be correct. It's anyone's guess. XLF, the financials. Now this one is different. I talked about this in last night's video about having a downtick, JP Morgan not having a downtick. We have the target. It was almost reached today, but not quite. Getting pretty darn close. It'd be nice if it fulfills it completely, but it has made an attempt already. And everything is pointing down. The daily does not look good on this, but look at the heat map. Dark green, and now not. So it isn't neutral yellow, but it is getting there fast. So enough of a reset so that it can continue going up. Oh, I can't talk. It won't be long. It won't be long. And it was able to keep the halfway point of the big green candle today, closing above it. So that support has held. Haven't broken that one. Certainly haven't tested or broken the bottom one. So there it is. And I think that's going to be about it for tonight. Still giving the benefit of the doubt to the bulls. They have certainly more wind to their backs, courtesy of Bernanke. And until the wind stops and something really shows that there's a serious problem, I'm going to continue with that perspective until something tells me not to anymore. But as always, all investing decisions are your own. This chart and video for entertainment, educational, and consumption of time purposes only. Thank you.